Welcome to the Random-esque Podcast with your hosts, Dr. Paul Banks and Jim Mooney. And remember, always stay random-esque.
Hey, what's up, randomies? Yes, welcome to the Random-esque Podcast, where we say, always stay
Random-esque.
We're your hosts, Jim and Paul, and hey, we're not in the wild, Paul.
No, we are in New Providence.
We are in New Providence, New Jersey. Today we're taping at my house here in New Providence, New Jersey. And we have a very special salute to the Veterans Podcast today for the month of November. So thank you, veterans, for all that you do and have done to keep our country safe. And I also want to thank my family for hosting us today. We got a bunch of stuff going on in the house, and we were able to carve out a couple of hours so we could tape the podcast. So thank you, Barb and family.
It's always nice to have a little niche carved out for your professional endeavors.
Yeah, it is. You know, because that's the way we roll. So anyway, we have 3 topics of conversation today. First, we have a little Yo Paulie, where we will hear from, oh my God, Bob's wife. You know, Bob.
Yeah, TP Bob.
His wife, Bobbette.
We got to get them on the show.
And we'll also argue ordering in versus ordering out. And inline or online. So that's to come in the Yo Paulie. We will then have a conversation with Ted Curtin, and he runs the New Jersey Warriors Veterans Ice Hockey Club. That should be fun. And then finally, our good friend Marc Herzog, friend of the show here. He is with the Irreverent Warriors, and we're going to have a conversation with Marc, and I'm sure that will be a lot of fun.
He's a friend of the show and a friend of ours and
Yes,
a man
he
of the
is.
people.
Yes, we've known Marc for many, many years. Good person.
Can you say good one more time?
What's that?
Can you say good one more time?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've seen a theme here today. We got the New Jersey Warriors. We have the Irreverent Warriors. So we got veterans and warriors. So a lot of things going on here. We got a theme going today that we're working on.
Is Steph Curry coming on the show? We're going to have the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, we could have the Golden State Warriors, who moved over to San Francisco now. Yes. No, he is not going to be on the podcast. Hey, and a reminder that we will be having a conversation with comedian Mike Marino in November when we tape at TV 36 over in Clark, New Jersey. Stay tuned for more. But to check out Mike's upcoming tour schedule, just go to MikeMarino.net. That's MikeMarino.net for ticket information and show times. He's really funny, as I've said multiple times. Barb and I have seen him. He's really a really funny guy.
Funnier than you?
Yeah, he definitely. God, anything's funnier than me.
That's fair.
I know that I'm funny looking.
By the way, what'd you think of the Borum pizza I posted?
I like the Bora pizza you posted on Facebook. I commented on it as Bob, and I said, just add a little Borum.
Right. That's right.
Like it was a spice, you know. So yeah, it was pretty funny, and I thought Barham's post was pretty funny.
That was.
I thought you lost your mind.
Well, that was in response to his. That was in response to his post.
Yeah, no, I know, and the thing was that he put your name at the top of the post, so I thought you actually posted like types of fags. I'm like,
no.
Wow.
No, he was. He posted the fags.
And then when I figured out it was Barham that had posted it, oh my God, I literally was crying, laughing for about a half hour. Oh my God, just so funny. We have all the hijinks in this world and a lot of fun here in the Union County part of the world. We also, speaking of veterans, we'd like you to reach out to a good friend of the show, Joe Midnack, who's raising money to help house homeless veterans over in Westfield. And a future facility is being built there. And you can reach Joe at fsvh.org. That's Joe at F as in Frank, S as in Sam, V as in Victor, H as in hotel.org. Whatever that means, I don't know.
And also, they have on Sundays a speakeasy. What's the address of the name and the address of
It's the VFW on North Avenue in Westfield, yes. And it's a lot of fun. All the different football games on. Actually, Mark, Paul, and I have all been there together. Mark's sitting off camera here. He's getting ready for his conversation with us soon.
You know what's great about watching those games there? When the Jets are at 1 o'clock, 15 minutes into the game, the place clears out.
That's right, they sure do. Well, people have other things to do, like go food shopping.
You know what Jets is an acronym for?
What is it an acronym for?
Just end the season.
That's correct. I would agree. Did you come up with that one on your own?
Oh, no, I'm not that bright.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Thanks.
That's the American Legion, Mark's telling me, over in Westfield. So the American Legion is where they have the speakeasy every Sunday during football. In fact, they even do the, Bloody Mary Sunday for the 9:30 games as well. So.
And there is a rumor that there will be, at some point, live music there.
Oh, live music. And who might be playing there?
Oh, that's a surprise.
Oh, that's a surprise.
I can't tell you.
If you told me, would you have to shoot me?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, on with the shoe. Okay, so we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. The New Jersey Festival Orchestra at njfestivalorchestra.org. Tickets are on sale now. And I know they do have some shows coming up in December. We also have Florham Park Dental Excellence with Dr. Paul Banks over here. And you can reach them at florhamparkdental.com. That's florhamparkdental.com. And me, Jim Mooney, and my son Seamus and my niece Bridget at Minuteman Press, Clark. And you can reach us at nj213.minuteman.com. That's nj213.minuteman.com. And we're going to jump into some Yo
Paulie!
Yo Paulie. Hey, Paulie. Speaking of, I really like that new Sly Stallone TV show, Tulsa King.
I haven't seen it yet.
He's really good. He plays a mafia guy in Tulsa.
That's a shocker.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's ever played that role, though. Honestly. Has he?
He played Snaps Provolone in the movie Oscar.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting schooled by Mark off camera over here.
Mark, it's a weekly thing, so he gets schooled.
I get schooled all the time. That's okay. That's what it's all about. Well, we have another advice letter office collection central facility over in Northeast Philly at the corners of Cottman and Bustleton, by the Galaxy Arcade. And, Paulie likes to walk around to give cheap advice over there. All he asks is for a roll of quarters so that he can play pinball, or he can play Galaga, or he can give them to me so I can park when I'm making deliveries here in Union County in the large town.
I was thinking about this. I could start doing it at Yestercades.
Yeah,
in Westfield.
Could.
They don't have to give me quarters because you buy by time.
Yeah, you can
buy me a time card. I'll give him advice there while I'm playing Galaga.
You could just do like $10 time cards instead.
Yeah.
Oh, but then that's going to mess up my quarters. I need the quarters for parking. So.
Yeah, it's all about you.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Finally, you admit it. It is, right? Anyway, Paul is going to give away some free advice exclusively for our randomies that need it. And there are no time cards or rolls of quarters necessary. This is absolutely complimentary of Yo Paulie. So let's just jump in for our first advice. Yo Paulie, my girlfriend and I decided that we were going to hang in and watch a movie tonight. I said, that's great. We can order after dinner. She looked at me kind of funny and she said, don't you mean order in? There is no such thing as ordering out. So now we are in an argument as to which is correct. Of course, I am right. You call the place, so you are ordering out of the house. They deliver the food to the house and bring it in. What can I do? All I want is my food, Paulie. What can I do to get out of this argument and order our food? Starving and hungry.
Hungry. We got an international.
Hungry, yeah. We got another, yeah.
Starving and hungry.
Yeah, we have somebody from Bermuda, too. I don't know. They follows us. I'm not sure why.
Oh, that's a short conversation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh,
See,
boy, you're going to fall right into the Bermuda Triangle someday.
better than the Bermuda trapezoid.
Yeah, Bermuda Trapezoid.
More on that later, possibly.
Is that from geometry?
You know, this is an easy one.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no such thing as ordering in. Nothing. It's ordering out. You're calling out, and they bring the food in.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on, yo, Mr. Starvin.
I mean, you know,
Paul.
Philadelphia is the capital of common sense, and that's what we say. So, but that being said, Starving,
Mr. Starvin.
Mr. Starving. Just agree with her.
Just agree with
You
her.
want your food, agree with her. You know what
What does it matter? You want the food, right?
You know what I always
You're
say?
Hungry. You obviously you're starving and hungry.
I tell you, I always say it's important for men that are married or dating to have a rocking chair in their house.
Why?
Because when the women are talking, they rock back and forth. So it's just like they're agreeing with them. I don't have to say anything.
Wow.
So get that rocking chair.
Look at you.
Get that rocking chair. Agree with them. Just agree.
Wow.
You know, you don't have to stick to your guns. You're hungry. Agree. Get your food.
Yeah. That was good. I like that. Good advice.
That's free.
Should I jump into the next show, Paulie?
Sure.
Okay. Hey, Yo Paulie, I was with a friend the other day and we were walking over to vote at that local polling place. The line was long, so my friend asked me how long do I think we're going to have to wait online. I looked at him with the strangest of faces and said, online? Do you happen to have your computer with you? That is the only way you can be online. The correct way is to say it is. The correct way is to say it is inline.
I didn't realize that was so funny.
How long do you think we'll have to wait inline, that is? Paulie, I know I'm right because that's the way we always said it growing up in Philly, you know, inline. So need some solid advice here. Signed, inline, and waiting in Philippi.
Well,
Mr. Inline. Okay.
Well, no, this guy's a PhD. Doctor.
He's a doctor?
Yes.
Where does it say that?
I just made it up.
Oh, you did?
It's in line. In line. You wait in line.
Yeah.
Online, possibly if you're body surfing, then you're online because you're on top of everything. It's in line. It's always been in line. Before they had computers, there was no such thing. People never said online.
Yeah. I think they say that up here in New York. They say online, right? They have to wait online.
Yeah, but it's wrong.
I know.
I disagree
wrong.
with you guys because
Wait, hold on. We have a comment from Mark here. What?
geometrically speaking, a line is two-dimensional. You can't be in something that's two-dimensional.
Oh.
If you stand on a line, you're standing on a line.
He might have
Common sense has no place here.
Absolutely, yeah. Why are you bringing common sense to this?
What do you think? We're
What do
smart?
you think? We're normal?
Jeez. Man.
Yeah.
Mark here's throwing comments here with some intellect in them, and I veto that.
I gotta give it to Mark though. That made a lot of sense.
Mark's a little something for the effort. But sorry, it's, you know what?
Bridget, you can cut that out too.
No,
Bridget's not cutting that out.
No. Leave this in, Bridget.
No.
No. I love it.
We love the fact that you feign intellect, and I appreciate that. But the bottom line is it's in line.
In line.
Yes, that is.
Well, that's your ruling.
That is my ruling. In line.
It is your kangaroo court.
It is my kangaroo court.
All
And
right,
Mark, you can go have a Coke and a smile and leave.
time for the next Yo Paulie. Lilies, I love lilies. So, dear Yo Paulie, recently you have been engaging with my husband Bob with your cheap Paulie advice.
It's not cheap, it's free. There's a difference.
Okay. You know, TP Bob. While I really appreciate you looking out for Bob's betterment, what he really needs is some breath mints. Look, please don't lull him into believing that he doesn't have locomotive breath, because he really smells like an ashtray that swallowed a ton of coffee. And those peppermint patty breath mints and candy corns didn't work at all. And now he's eating more citrus fruits than ever to spite me because of your cheap advice. And Jim or Elvis or whoever you are this week, for your knowledge, Bob does not wear leisure suits. He wears the Dennis Rodman collection, and I wear the Mrs. Roper collection line, sold exclusively by the Kmart rack over in the strip mall. Anywho, I digress. Bob's breath smells worse than ever because of your advice. It's like, how can I say it? It's like a cattle ranch crossed with a horse glue factory or something. It's just awful. There's some sort of weird fog coming out of his mouth. So much so, I thought they elected a new pope. As a dentist, is there anything you could prescribe for his chronic halitosis? Also, thanks a lot for your backwards ruling on the TP roll. That rolled us back a few years. I still think it should roll under, like a typical bad jet score. Signed, Bobbette, styling and Mrs. Roper wear. So what do you think about Bobbette's comments? There's a lot to dissect there. And I guess you obviously agree with her that he has locomotive breath because you're playing locomotive
That's
breath.
right.
In the shuffling madness,
You know why Ian
I'm
Anderson?
a locomotive breath.
Do you know why Ian Anderson sings that?
Why?
So you don't have to.
Does he sing it for Bob?
Hold on, wait, here we go,
Okay,
here we go.
Here's the real thing.
Not yet.
He kind of sings like her. Madness. Bob's a locomotive breath. Well, do you want to address some of this stuff here that
Yeah, well, I'm
Bobbette-
sorry. Bobbette's her name.
Bobbette, yeah, Bob. Bob. That's
First
his
of
wife.
all,
That's Bob's wife.
yeah, I
Bobbette.
know. First of all, I never thought I could listen or read a letter from a more annoying person, and then she shows up.
Yeah.
Why don't you take a long walk off a short bridge
Wow, that's not really
or
nice.
short
is it?
pier? No, I'm just kidding. You can make it as long as you want. No, I mean, Mrs. Bobbette, just stop whining. Stop. Would you like some cheese with that wine? I'll get you some cheese, but you're really annoying. This probably, as long as we've been doing this is the most annoying letter we've gotten so far. It really is.
It is. It's
it
annoying.
really is.
Yeah.
The whole genesis of her conversation with us was because they were arguing over which end of the toilet paper goes up and down. You know what? I don't give a flying fish. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Get out of the line.
Get online.
Get out of the line. You know what, Bobbette? I'm sorry. I've already wasted like 30 seconds of my life I'll never get back. Please cease and desist from writing any letters to us.
Well, I think we might be hearing back from Bob later.
I may be hearing back from her lawyer.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it might.
Bobbette.
Can you help him with any of this halitosis stuff?
We did last time.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about all the foods you could
yeah,
and
but now
couldn't
he's
eat.
eating citrus fruits because he's spiting her.
Well, that's between the two of them. I'm not a marriage counselor. I give free advice, not matrimonial advice.
Do you
I think she's a moron, actually.
I'll make sure she finds out.
I really do.
Do you ever buy any of that Dennis Rodman collection over at the Kmart rack?
I've never seen the Dennis Rodman collection.
You sure?
I didn't know it existed.
Yeah. it's
And
good.
Dennis Rodman has a collection at Kmart.
Yeah, I made it up.
Speaking of Kmart, you know what?
And the Mrs. Roper collection's over there too.
You know what a phrase Jewish women never hear?
What? I can only imagine.
Attention, Kmart shoppers.
Yeah, he's obviously Bob wears the Dennis Rodman collection over there at the
No, I'm
Kmart
not.
rack.
Bobbette, Mrs. Bobbette, I'm giving you a hard time, but you know, you're just so annoying, and I'm just not in the mood. So I would just.
Well, who's more annoying, like Bob or Bobbette?
Man, that's a close one.
Yeah, it is a close one.
I think they
It's a
should
photo
see.
finish.
I think this kind of advice that they ask for is well beyond the scope of my intellect.
Yeah, they might need a psychiatrist.
They needed
or
a
marriage counselor.
matrimonial attorney.
Yeah.
I know a good one,
Yeah.
not from personal experience, but I
Yeah.
know a good one.
Yeah, in my BNI groups, I have different attorneys. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good advice. I
Yeah.
think that's the best advice you can give.
I'm just
He's just a dentist, That's all he does. So he doesn't give out marital advice.
no, and she's just so annoying.
Yeah, go away, Bobbette. We want to hear back from Bob.
Bob,
later.
please write to us.
Yeah, please write to us later. I'm sure we'll hear from you next week.
And when we read it on the air, just make sure she's not within earshot.
Yeah, make sure, and that'll be our very special random Thanksgiving special.
And I don't know why I'm so aggravated. I never get this aggravated. I guess she just hit a nerve.
Yeah, she sure did. She sure did.
See, when I hit a nerve in my job, it's a problem. They scream at me.
Lilies, I love lilies. Spencer used to kiss me behind the set.
My ears hurt. My
Thank
ears
you.
freaking hurt. Anyway, that's our segment of Yo Paulie.
Thank you. Okay, so we're back here with a salute to the veterans. And we are doing a special zoom in with none other than Ted Curtin. And Ted runs the New Jersey Warriors ice hockey for veterans team. Welcome, Ted. Great to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We're happy to have you on the show, and thanks for zooming in with us today.
Love it.
So I'm just going to give a little bit of background on Ted. Ted Curtin is a passionate advocate for veterans in New Jersey, working closely with the New Jersey Warriors to support military veterans and their families. His dedication stems from a strong belief in providing veterans with opportunities to reintegrate, connect, and thrive after service, with a deep understanding of the challenges faced by veterans. Curtin brings experience, empathy, and a commitment to uplifting the veteran community through practical support and community engagement. And a little bit about the New Jersey Warriors to give some background on the organization. The New Jersey Warriors hockey program is based at the Prudential Center, is a nonprofit volunteer-run program affiliated with the New Jersey Devils, created to give our disabled U.S. military veterans an opportunity to rehab through the exciting world of hockey. And it is an exciting world for sure. They strive to provide a safe and welcoming outlet for disabled servicemen and servicewomen to connect with one another, challenge themselves and each other, and remind them that there's still nothing they can't do. Veterans from New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania are able to join our team as a way to connect, bond, and use this experience as a therapeutic way to physically rehab and manage stresses from their military experiences. And thank you again for being here today, Ted. And I think Paulie has a question for you.
Yeah, start by sharing us with how you became involved with New Jersey Warriors and what was your inspiration to work with the veterans?
So, yeah, it goes back to 2019 actually, and a good friend. You know, hockey's a small community. It's like one big giant family of really strange but awesome people. And 2019, a gentleman Mark, who I used to coach with, he was visiting a friend of his down in Dallas, who was involved in this Dallas Warriors program, which was this really incredible program that was put together for men and women who have served in our military to help with that difficult transition through the sport of hockey. And his natural question was, how come there's nothing like this up in our area? And of course, the answer is because nobody has started it yet. So on his way back, he makes a couple of phone calls. He calls me because he knows that I've been involved in nonprofit organizations. I'm a hockey lifer, playing, coaching, parenting, you name it.
What position did you play in hockey?
I'm sorry?
What position?
Oh my gosh. Well, I played defense. I played goalie, much to my parents' chagrin for a little while, and played offense.
I was a
again, and
goalie
then
in
settled on
soccer.
defense.
Hockey,
Sorry?
I was a goalie in soccer, but in hockey, it's got to be crazy.
Significantly more
I
equivalent.
would say so.
Well, I remember, I started playing hockey as a little kid. My mom used to complain that every year she had to buy new equipment because I grew out of the old equipment.
It's an expensive sport.
And sure. back in the day, I was, I don't know, I think I'm a little older than you, but the skates, there were two skates. There were the CCM Super Tax and the Supreme 96 Bauer. And those are my two. And my mom used to complain, get new sets every year, and they were not cheap.
Nope.
Well, like
Paulie, you know what they do, Paulie, is they the young kid equipment is pretty inexpensive. It's a great way to get people in, and then all of a sudden you got to start replacing it, and it just
then you're
gets
playing goalie. Yeah, that throws you up to another level.
Yeah, so that didn't last long. I went back to playing offense and defense, and I just love the game. So where I'm a skater. That's it's a thrill.
Sorry, I interrupted. So go ahead.
So we reached out to me, and being someone who is a sucker for veterans and someone who can't say no, I said yes. And we reached out to Kevin Fox, who had played with Mark earlier in his college days, who was with the Devils. We reached out to our partner friends at USA Hockey, and they said, we've been thinking about wanting to get something started in this area. And so the planets aligned, and within a month, we had a program together.
That's pretty fast.
We traveled to our first tournament in Las Vegas, which was a national tournament where Warriors teams from all over the country came together. And it's been growing ever since. Really, just an amazing thing. I'm a civilian, so for me, Jim, this is my way of giving back.
No, I think it's awesome, and wow, that's a really fast start. I would have thought it would take longer to have started something this large.
And to be fair, when we went to our first tournament in Vegas, we went with 12 people. It was really small, and because we were in a tournament, and we're
not a lot of line changes.
No, not. In fact, we were joking to each other. Mark says, "Hey Ted, you run defense, I'll run offense." There was one sub on each, so.
So you played overtime hockey.
Pretty much. That was our first experience ever. You know what? We won our first 2 games, and
really?
It was just like,
awesome.
Oh my gosh, we got our ass kicked as we got tired, and our guys got injured.
Right.
We had 2 guys going to the hospital, but it was a great experience. We knew we were onto something, and it was time to build and grow. And part of that was getting awareness. Our partnership with the Devils, them helping to expose us to people and more veterans, and to get funding, because hockey, as you guys know, is not a cheap sport.
No, it is not, and that's great that you're affiliated with. What is your affiliation with the Devils?
Yeah, so we couldn't do what we do without their support. They're amazing. They help us with, they gave us our first set of jerseys and uniforms for the whole team.
Oh, wow.
ice time. They're constantly doing ice time for us. They give us access to their players, their alumni. We've got a bunch of their Stanley Cup alumni that come to our practices, that come to our games,
Martin
signing
Brodeur,
autographs,
did you
hanging
come
out
by?
with our veterans, just honorary coaches. They love our program. Guys like Danico, guys like Driver, guys like White, guys like Marshy. They just love what we do,
Wow.
and they love spending time with our guys.
That's fantastic.
Well, with all this, could you share a story of a particular veteran that benefited from this program, or I'm sure there may be many. I don't know if you could really isolate. And that's, I'm not putting you on the spot. If you could just tell me there are many, I'm okay with that answer. I just figured I would.
Well, yes, there are many. They all have an amazing story. They have all had a struggling journey. When you come out of the military service, you're used to structure and discipline, purpose and mission, and they do a lot of work to train you to come into the military. They do nothing to train you to come out of the military.
Oh, interesting.
And that
That's what we were talking
transition,
about with
That's what
Mark.
we were just talking about.
We were talking about with Mark too. Yeah.
that transition is brutal, and often it's hard on relationships, it's hard on jobs, it's hard on social interaction, and as a result a lot of veterans isolate. And we've got an incredibly high rate of suicide among the veteran community. It's 22 a day. And with that notion, I can tell you there are people who have just given everything to our company, our country, and lost so much, and they get down,
And this
and
is
understandably, and there's no one to talk to. Sorry.
this is like mirroring the conversation we just had with Marc Herzog from Irreverent Warriors.
Yeah, no,
And
I get
they're
they
the
serve the
same
purpose.
with prevention of suicide among veterans. And he was saying even the divorce rate is like 50 to 55%. So
Hard.
it takes a toll
It's
on these veterans.
It does take a toll, but I'll tell you, when you can create an environment where you can renew that sense of purpose, that sense of team, that sense of mission, where you can build camaraderie, where you can give people access, easy access to a healthy, active lifestyle, now all of a sudden isolation isn't as appealing. And so we've got guys that were really at their lows, with drinking and dependency and isolation, and now they come out of their shell. They stand for something. They mean something. It means something. Just they walk. Listen, it doesn't matter. We don't even need to be on the ice. We could just walk into a locker room and you feel the vibes. You feel the molecules change in the air. And for veterans that don't even know how to play hockey, we have a scholarship program that will teach them how to play hockey just to get them involved in our program.
You were like in our preamble a couple of weeks ago, you were saying that's about a 6-week program. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a 6-week program. And if someone comes to us and says, hey, I want to be involved, and they're a disabled veteran, we don't want anything to stand in any veteran's way of being involved in this program.
Now, how can civilians get involved in helping out your program?
Yeah. So we're an all volunteer nonprofit organization, and we rely on volunteers like me and others to come together and make things happen, to get ice time for us, to help us, organize events, to help us with transportation to and from tournaments and charity games. There's so much that our board needs to do. And then when we have our events, our big charity games, people that just help with selling merchandise or taking tickets or selling raffle tickets. It's a community, and that's how it works.
And we'll continue with the dialogue here. But how do people get in touch with you to be able, like civilians like us?
Volunteer.
How do they get in touch with you to volunteer?
So the typical ways people reach out to us is through social media. They can DM us on any of our channels. We're very active on Instagram and on Facebook. Not so much on X, a little bit on TikTok, but I would say Instagram and Facebook is where we have the most activity.
Okay.
Or they just go to our website, njwarriors.org.
njwarriors.org. Okay, that's awesome. And so what are you guys looking to accomplish, and where do you see things going forward? And
You mean like your goals?
yeah, goals. Yeah. What are your goals?
I'm gonna throw that hockey term in there.
Yeah, goals.
Goals.
Wow. The bad dad jokes just never end. I'm telling you, the bad puns.
Yeah. So no,
Like,
it's a
what
good
are your
question.
goals for the remainder of the year going? And is this the hockey season now?
Yeah, no, we're in it right now. We kicked it off on September, just around September 11th. We do something called our Patriots Day Shootout, where we get together with local first responders from all over the tri-state area at the American Dream Wall. We go on the ice and we do a 2,977 shot shootout to honor all the victims of 9/11. It's a really special event. The Devils show up for us. Hundreds of people come out for that. That's a big thing.
That's huge.
We
And
have
that's
a couple
the
of
Dream
tournaments
Mall,
that
did
we're
you say?
doing. I'm sorry?
Over at the Dream Mall, you said?
American Dream, yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I always
That's fantastic.
every year I know at Cody Arena they have and I think it's at MSG also they have a game the finest versus the bravest
Yeah.
hockey game.
Yeah, it's a very popular game.
Yeah.
It's high level. By the way, that's really high level hockey.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be messing with
That is
those
definitely
guys.
tier one.
I would not want to be messing with those guys, but so they honor all the victims for 9/11. That's really amazing with the shootout.
Yep.
That's really fantastic. What a great way to tribute those poor folks and what everybody went through on that
So you thrive,
unfortunate day.
yeah, I'm sorry, you thrive on donations and volunteers.
Yeah, that's listen, here's and we're an all volunteer organization. So unlike some nonprofits, every dollar that we take in goes to directly help our veterans, either with ice time, equipment, new jerseys, transportation and travel to events and tournaments that we're doing. When a veteran comes to us, often they'll have some equipment. They don't always have all of it. Sometimes they don't have any of it. We don't want the expense of hockey to be a barrier for them benefiting from an organization and a program like ours. So we want to make this as easy as possible for our veterans to engage with us, to participate, to build that camaraderie and become part of this team.
And how do the New Jersey Warriors initiatives help veterans build that camaraderie and find a sense of community post service?
Yeah. Well, it's two things. It's on and off the ice. So on the ice, we do these charity games. We do about 5 charity games a year. We do them against West Orange Fire and Police, against Newark Fire Department, against New Jersey Fire, South Brunswick Police, a bunch of first responder type of teams that we will play. Not as high level as the New York's finest and bravest competition, but people that are coming together as a way for us to recognize our first responders and for them to honor our veterans. These are big events. They're fun events. Sometimes we get the Devils mascot to come out to these events. There's great raffles. We do chuck-a-puck contests. So we do these charity games. We do some tournaments twice a year. USA Hockey has a tournament where Warrior teams from all over the country come together. But we do stuff off the ice too. We've got something coming up on the 16th of November. We're doing a service day at Bergen County Horse Rescue. So
nice.
This is an organization that saves horses from slaughter, but it's volunteer and it's nonprofit. And so, they need help rebuilding stables, painting barns, and doing all kinds of stuff. And our veterans love to be there. They love to help. They come to us as much as we're trying to help them. They keep coming to us with new ideas and ways to help others in the community. Service is in their DNA, and
that benefits their mental health as well.
Without a doubt. Listen, there's a lot of analogies to the horses that are left out and to the veterans who are sort of left out. And there's definitely some connection, and it's really great being along these near these majestic animals. But we do other stuff. We help with special needs hockey programs.
Wow. Cool.
We work with the Devils and their Learn to Play program. Our guys are constantly volunteering, sharing their love for the sport with young people coming into the sport. So there's a lot of stuff we do. Again,
so the learn to play. How young of players are there? Like, is it?
I've seen kids as young as like 4 years old on the.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Pretty young.
So it goes like 4 to maybe 18 or so, kind of.
No,
thing?
I'd say the cap is probably around like 10 or 12.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but it's a Learn to Play program, and there's access to that on the New Jersey Devils website. But they have it at a lot of different locations up and down New Jersey, and they're really neat events.
Do the Devils promote this as well?
Yeah.
After games.
So we're coming up on Veterans Day, obviously, and they'll Military Appreciation Week and other weeks that they do. They have our guys there. They have our guys on the ice in the middle of a game to recognize us. Last year, we actually played a quick game on the ice, which was a lot of fun. Sometimes we just go out on the ice with the Devils for warm-ups, and then for the national anthem. They
Wow.
50-50 for us sometimes. You'll see us occasionally on the concourse of the Prudential Center with a table set up with our veterans there, talking about the program, talking about how it's helped them.
What a beautiful facility it
Yeah.
is there too, at the Prudential Center. So
They're amazing.
what's that?
They're amazing.
Yeah, really, and it's a great organization.
I make it to the Prudential Center 2-3 times a year when a certain hockey team comes up.
I wonder who might that be. I wonder who that is. Might that be the Flyers?
And listen, they have a Warriors program too. So the Flyers have a Warrior program. There's a bunch of teams: Buffalo, Pittsburgh.
So you play against all those, right?
Yeah, at these tournaments, at the USA Hockey tournaments, and there's more.
Fantastic.
Is there
I'm sorry?
anyone going like records or anything, or is it just within the tournament whoever wins?
So there's 2 tournaments that they do. There's the Classic, where it's more of just a fun tournament, and then there's the National Championships. The first time they ever held a USA Hockey Warriors National Championship was this past spring, and it was actually held here in Wayne, New Jersey, for the first time, which is really neat. Ice Vault was a great facility. The people there were amazing. It was one of the best tournaments that we've been to, and it was made even sweeter by the fact that the first national tournament, New Jersey Warriors, won in our division. Tier 5.
Awesome! Congrats! That's fantastic. Congratulations.
So that was really neat.
So we get in touch with you at njwarriors.org.
That's correct.
Or you can go out on Instagram, Facebook. You're active on all of those pages out there. If folks, civilians, want to get involved and help volunteer their time to help this great organization that you run. So,
Ted, I just, I want to thank you because it's just a tremendous thing you do, and not that veterans are forgotten, but sometimes they are, and they shouldn't be, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be having this conference. We wouldn't be.
Hey, veterans didn't forget us, right? They didn't forget us. We shouldn't forget them.
I just find it, and I had mentioned to Jim that we've done many, many podcasts, and I think that this one today was probably, definitely our most important one.
Yeah.
Easily our most important one, because this is, when this is a matter of bear tax. It's a matter of life and death sometimes.
Yeah.
And the best that we can do.
Bear tax? I think it's brass tax.
Brass tax. Bear tax.
Like bear tax.
Well, I was thinking I bought a bear the other day.
Wow, did they give you tax?
I bought
on
a bear the other day. They taxed me on it.
I'm like, wow, what the heck are bear tax?
Brass tax.
Oh, brass tax.
Brass tax.
Like, wow. Did you buy a bear the other day?
I did.
I had a bear on a porch one time up in the Adirondacks.
Did I tell you I went on a nude beach?
No.
They didn't have any sand on it.
Oh, wow. That doesn't even make sense.
Sure it does. You take the sand off the beach. It's a nude beach.
It's a nude beach. Wow.
Anyway.
My God, you're telling Ted these silly jokes.
But he's laughing. Isn't humor? Humor's
Yeah,
fun.
it is.
Guys, this is a lot of fun. And
Well,
Paulie,
anyway, but seriously, I
Wait till you see the front part of the show.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the Yo Paulie stuff. God.
it's and Marc Herzog had mentioned this. It's just as easy to laugh as it is to cry, and if they're not tears of joy, then make them tears of joy, and that's with humor.
Yeah, we really appreciate what you do.
Paulie, our veterans have sacrificed so much for us. This is the least we can do to give back to them. They've given so much for us, for our freedoms, and for me personally, this is this is a passion. This is just an absolute joy to be able to give back. They're wonderful human beings. I'm telling you, all they want to do is give. Their spirit is infectious, and it's just an incredible group of people.
Well, I think there's a huge level of appreciation they have.
Yeah.
And I think the more appreciation they get, they give it back significantly more bigger amounts. And that's all you need to do. If you show appreciation, you get what you give, and sometimes you even give more.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you a quick story. Actually, it doesn't even have to do with New Jersey Warriors. We were doing an event, and we had some guys from Buffalo, again, another great program, serving Western New York State. And one of the guys from Buffalo Warriors said something about Warrior hockey. He said, Warrior hockey is magic. I've heard a lot of good things about Warrior hockey and being involved in it. I've heard a lot of people describe it in different ways, but I hadn't heard that before. He said, Warriors hockey is magic. He said, when you come out of the service, you've got a lot of things that you're dealing with, and you lose a lot of things. You lose joy, you lose laughter, you lose love, you lose your people around you. And he said, you walk into that locker room with a bunch of warriors, and everything comes back, smiles and laughter, and it's like magic. And that was really cool that he said that.
Yeah,
Warriors
that's
like magic.
That's awesome.
That's great, and that's valid. I mean, I get it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you believe in miracles?
All right, Herb.
If I believed in miracles, I'd be hosting this show by myself.
That would be a miracle.
All right, Paulie, 2 minutes, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Actually, Paul paid for a dinner the other night. That was a miracle.
Yeah, but you didn't notice I lifted the credit card out of your wallet.
That's true.
You'll know when you get the bill.
He did pay the bear tax. I'm still not sure what that is.
Brass tax.
Let's get down to bear tax. I'm like, is that like an idiom I never heard of?
You guys ever watch it? We're all guys. You watch the Three Stooges, right?
Yeah, of course.
Speaking of all that, there was like a Curly and Moe thing where Larry shot a gun that had tacks in it.
He was from Philly.
I know, 4th and South.
Yeah.
He shot he had a tack gun. He shot the tacks into Moe, and Curly tried to knock them out. They wouldn't come out. He goes, "Oh, they must be income tax."
Oh wow!
So I remember that. Yeah, Larry was if you go to 4th and South in the corner,
yeah,
the girls there and playing the violin.
There used to be a restaurant there, but they closed.
Like closed,
unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Ted, for being on our show at the NewJerseyWarriors.org. And I will be shipping you a special show hat to thank you for being on the show today. I'll give him a flyer. I'm not gonna give him a flyers hat.
give him a flammable one so he can do what he wants.
Yeah, that's right. They can skate all over it.
Yeah.
No, I'll send you a special show hat. So again, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Ed. We appreciate
Paulie, Jim, thanks so much. Again, njwarriors.org for anyone that wants to reach out to us. You want to get involved. Do you know a veteran that might benefit from this type of a program? Please share what we do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Awesome.
I'm going to end it now, and we're going to say goodbye.
Bye.
Guys.
Bye. Thanks, Ted. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
And we are back with our salute to veterans. And we are here with our good friend, Marc Herzog.
Thank you.
And Marc is with the Irreverent Warriors. So we're going to give a little background on the Irreverent Warriors. They are a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving mental health and preventing suicide among military veterans. Founded by veterans, the organization fosters camaraderie and support through humor and community events. And I've seen that. They're a lot of fun. And they do the Silky Hikes. That's right, the Silky Hikes, where the veterans gather in a lighthearted environment that acknowledges the serious issue of veteran suicide. The Silky Hikes, named after the iconic military issue PT shorts, provide a venue for veterans to bond over shared experiences and heal through laughter and connection. And we'll hear more about those Silky Hikes in a little bit, Silky's Hikes, and a little bit from Marc. And now let's give a little bit of background on Marc. Marc Herzog is a prominent figure in the veteran community and an active advocate for mental health and suicide prevention among military veterans. With a background as a veteran himself, Herzog has been instrumental in organizing events that align the Irreverent Warriors mission, particularly focusing on creating safe, supported spaces where veterans can connect and decompress. Known for his down-to-earth, irreverent approach, and I can attest to that, and I'm sure Paulie can too.
Yes.
Absolutely. Marc is a lot of fun. Herzog believes in addressing veteran mental health with a blend of humor, empathy, and no-nonsense practicality. His leadership continues to guide Irreverent Warriors as it expands to its outreach and strengthens its impact in the veteran community. And we give you Marc Herzog. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I think Paulie's got a question for you.
Yeah, I'm really, really interested about your personal journey, because your personal journey was what ultimately led you to being involved with Irreverent Warriors.
Sure. So I, right out of high school, I went to one semester of college and realized that wasn't for me. So I had always dreamed of enlisting, and I enlisted in the Navy in '94, and I served from '94 to 2001. And
Thank you for your service.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was an honor to serve. Fun fact, I and a lot of veterans don't always feel comfortable when someone thanks us for our service, because it's really something that we were called to do. It
Sure.
really wasn't a choice for a lot of us.
That's true, but we do have an appreciation.
I appreciate that.
But nobody thanks Paul for anything. So.
Well, we smile, and that's enough, right?
Yeah.
I've always suggested to people that they say welcome home instead of thank
Really?
you. Because
Welcome home. Interesting.
Because a lot of veterans don't hear that. The divorce rate in the military is 50+%.
Oh, wow.
So oftentimes when members of the military come home from deployment, they're met with divorce papers, or they're met with spouses and family who can't relate to them anymore. And I can vouch for that, because once I got out, I couldn't really have normal conversations with a lot of people who didn't serve. And I went through a bout of depression, and suicide entered my mind many times over the next 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Until I attended my first Silky's hike in Philadelphia in 2016.
Shout out to Philly.
Shout out to Philly.
Best place to start.
And I laughed, I cried at my first Silky's event. It was better than Cats. And it was
Better than Cats. The Cats to play.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember that commercial? I laughed, I cried, it was better than Cats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim's got to get out more often.
Yeah, I think I do. Well, no, I need to maybe stay in a little more and watch some TV.
No,
I was going to say,
go to see Cats.
I should. I haven't seen Cats. I don't even have cats.
It's perfect.
But I'm allergic to cats. But I'm allergic to cats. I don't know if I want to go to that. And I think Bob and Bobbette are heading toward that divorce statistic that Marc cited. I think over TP and bad breath.
Bob has his own service that he's working with, right?
Yeah, he's got some other issues.
Yeah, service-connected disabilities.
And I'm sorry, so go ahead, continue.
So I attended my first hike in 2016, and then I attended my first New York City hike in 2017. In 2018, I joined the leadership team in New York City. In 2019, I became the New York City leader. In 2020, I became the HR director of Irreverent Warriors. In 2021, I became a national coordinator and I was a national coordinator until this past year, where now I'm a leadership mentor.
And this is a little aside to that. Now, I don't know if any of you seen the movie Deer Hunter.
I actually have not seen The Deer Hunter. I would like to.
Well,
I know that's hard to believe. But
I'm sure you've seen Deer Hunter.
I have not.
You have not seen
I
the
have
Deer Hunter?
not seen
I know.
deer
I'm
hunting.
actually embarrassed to say that I haven't seen it.
You know what it's about, right?
Deer hunting?
Vietnam.
No, it's about the soldiers that
coming
leave
home?
from a small town in Pennsylvania and go to Vietnam.
And that's like De
how they
Niro
co-
and all, right?
Yeah, and
That's
how
like
they
some pretty big people.
yeah, and Christopher Walken was in there too, and how
Christopher
they adjust
Walken.
to life when they get back to small town Pennsylvania, and some of them that don't make it out. It won multiple Academy Awards. If you have not seen that, you've got that it won't give you perspective, but it'll give a lot of other people perspective. And I know movies have a lot more dramatized than real, but this was pretty close.
Yeah,
from
I
what I've heard.
actually would really like
From what
to
I've
see it.
heard.
I've just never seen it. You talked about the Silkies hikes. How did that concept come about?
So in 2015, a Marine Corps captain who was medically discharged realized that he was losing more of his men at home than he ever did downrange. They were suiciding.
Downrange.
Deployed.
Okay.
And he felt the need to do something about it. So he said, wouldn't it be cool if I could get my old unit back? He lives in San Diego. If I could get my old unit to come out to San Diego and we just walk up and down the beach in Silkies and drink beer and just have a good time and remember, the good things. And he brought his unit to San Diego. They executed flawlessly, and word about this event got out to the veteran community. And it was such a great idea that before he knew it, there were 10 other Silkies hikes around the country in 2015. And the word spread like wildfire to the point where in 2016, he incorporated the name Irreverent Warriors, made it a nonprofit, and the legend was born to the point where in 2019 we had our first leadership conference, and there were 35 leaders that went to a ranch in Texas and had our first leadership conference.
That's pretty cool. And that's about. I met you probably about 2020 because we were in BNI together, and I knew you were with Irreverent Warriors then. So
Is this national and is it international as well?
It is international. We have a presence in London. We have a presence in Trieste, Italy, Normandy, Puerto Rico, although that's not international, and several other countries we're expanding to.
Okay.
It's truly international.
So which is really cool. I actually didn't know that. I knew about the U.S., but from your perspective, what makes humor a powerful tool in addressing serious issues like PTSD and suicide prevention?
Sure. So in the military, we develop naturally a very dark sense of humor as a coping mechanism to experiences we've had and things we've seen and done and how we feel. We have two choices in life. We can either laugh or cry.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
And it's we chose to laugh, and we laugh in the face of death.
You do.
Literally.
It's like a matador kind of thing.
So oftentimes our humor is extremely dark and inappropriate by civilian standards, but it's what gets us through those dark situations.
But not by this show's standards.
No,
Really?
we would be okay.
I can test that theory.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if Spotify would be okay.
no, I don't think
we'd
so.
be okay.
I'm going to try and keep this, rated G.
We're PG.
All right, PG.
Yeah, we can be PG.
But
maybe even PG-13.
So, when it comes to things like suicide and depression, the military for far too long has had and I'm going to try and keep from cursing on the show.
Sure.
Has had a position of fudge your feelings.
Okay. Got you.
So we, as an organization, like to say, unfudge your feelings.
Oh.
So
Do you like fun?
I do.
Oh,
Yes.
do you like the
Well, I think
chocolate or
I
the-
I like the peanut butter.
you like the peanut butter
Yes.
fudge?
but I think, and sorry to interrupt, but I think that
Paul, do you give that to your patients?
fudge.
Fudge? You
No.
give them candy, you said.
I do not. I do not give them candy.
Yeah. You said you did.
The closest I come is in the handpiece. The water that comes out is actually sugar water. But see, now I forgot what I was going to say.
We were talking about dark humor. No. Okay.
Okay, that's all right.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Hey,
I
it
will-
is random, you know.
I will remember.
You got to keep up.
Yeah.
So, you know, and this will be cool to hear, like some memorable stories or feedback from veterans, you know, who have participated in the Silkies hikes.
So they once you attend a hike, it's like a shot of dopamine, or you know, it's like I remember all the good things, the camaraderie, the humor, the you know, our battle buddies, and we build that support network. So the events are big enough where no matter what you did when you were in the military, someone at that hike has had a similar circumstance,
Okay.
has done a similar thing. So between the dark humor and the sharing of stories, the feedback is, I found my brothers and sisters.
Okay.
These are the people that I've been missing since I got out.
So do people like email each other or call each other post hikes as well?
Without a doubt.
Okay,
Facebook
that's
is
great.
a huge connector.
I never thought about that.
Text
side of it.
messaging. I actually run D&D campaigns for veterans.
What is
it? Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
I'm not in that world.
No, but
Someone
it's,
said that the other day, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
Jim, again, you need to get out or in more often. What do you
I
need
thought
to
they
do?
were talking about Dunkin'
I remember
Donuts.
I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say how you could never discount and underestimate the medicinal value of humor. And I mean, you guys know from a personal level what I went through. So
You sure you didn't read that somewhere?
no,
I
that's
thought it was Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra is when there's a fork in the road, take it.
Or no one goes to that restaurant anymore. It's too crowded.
or it's getting late early.
It's like there. 8 and over till it's over. Was that him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, what advice do you have for veterans who may feel isolated or reluctant to reach out for help?
Well, the obvious advice is isolation kills. You absolutely can. You have to fight the urge to isolate yourself.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why COVID was so destructive to the veteran community is that we were forced
That would be tough, yeah.
to a lot of our hikes got canceled from April through June, and we got together in 2020 and we said we have to keep meeting despite COVID, and we made the arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
When we were on the move, we were more than 6 feet apart. When we were stationary, we put masks on. We ate meals outside, and we made sure that we could continue those connections. So whatever you do, don't isolate.
Okay.
You have to be in contact with your support network.
Okay, I'll go out and don't worry, I'll get out in the world. I won't
You
isolate.
have to.
You know I
Jim,
network.
don't isolate.
You know I network. You know I like to network. In fact, I'm networking tonight. at
Right?
an event.
You're networking right now.
I'm networking
You're networking right now.
I'm also cleaning my oven. So as Paulie and I are, civilians over here, how can we better support the veterans?
I served.
What's that?
I served.
What did you serve?
I was a waiter.
I was going to say, I didn't think you served in any military.
I was a waiter. I
Yeah,
served.
Yeah, you served all right.
Right.
I was a dishwasher. I didn't even make it to the waiter. I was so bad at it.
It's okay, Jim.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm all right.
All right.
Anywho, as civilians, how can we help, veterans struggling with mental health, and what role do you see for allies, in the community?
Well, so first off, part of the problem that we have is that we suffer in silence more often than not. And you don't know there's a problem until the problem presents itself.
Okay. What do you mean? Explain suffer in silence.
Well, because we've heard the fudge your feelings for so long, that starts a pattern of internalizing and not expressing the fact that you're not okay. So you try and assimilate into the civilian world in which you clearly don't feel at ease.
Now I remember my question when you mentioned that. When I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So you're saying the military asks you to internalize everything?
Yes.
And that's to say versus, speaking with people and okay, that was the question because I forgot about that. Yeah, that was what I wanted to, and that seems kind of like odd because wouldn't you figure that if you're in the military, they would want you at your optimal mental health?
Sure, absolutely. And so here's the risk that members of the military face if they say, I'm not okay, right? The protocol, for better or worse, and there are good sides to it and bad, the protocol when someone says I'm not okay is they are immediately deemed non-combat ready, and they go through they go through a treatment, regardless of what that treatment is. The downside is they've been called to service to do a job. They've been trained so highly to do that job, and they feel such a sense of responsibility to their brothers and sisters to have their back just as their brothers and sisters have theirs.
It's kind of demeaning.
So when you're deemed non-combat ready, you're taken away from your brothers and sisters, and you feel that sense of responsibility that you're not there to have their back anymore.
Which further hurts you mentally.
Right, absolutely. So for better or worse, when you're deemed non-combat ready, it's almost, for the service member, it's better for them to internalize it and not express that and be with their support network than to be taken out of the rotation and given treatment.
Gotcha. Yeah,
that would seem to make sense.
Yeah, thanks for answering that. I just remember that.
And it's like you said, get out. Don't sit in isolation. So that would seem to make it worse, right? So,
right, but then the military is caught in this conundrum of what do we do?
What do we do with this person?
How do we make them better?
Okay.
If the treatment is just as bad as the issue.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So this is the problem.
Okay.
So going back to your earlier question, what can civilians do?
Sure.
Or I should say, what should non-veterans do? The first thing is try not to say, I know how you feel.
Right, because you don't. I don't.
Unless you've been in a situation where you've been in a combat zone, you've been called on to fire a weapon at another human being, it's very difficult to understand that. Now, I never served in combat. I went through my own issues that were non-PTSD, and that was, the military routine is so regimented and so, it's a series of if-then statements.
Okay.
Right? If it's this time, you're in this place. If this thing happens, you do this. And it was very easy for me to process that kind of day and that kind of existence.
Okay.
And then I come into the civilian world and nothing is regimented. And you have to be on top of everything.
Gotcha. Because you're used to certain strict rules
and
times and guidelines.
But didn't that training about, with you being regimented, didn't that carry over into everyday life?
Yes, and it's done great for me now, 25 years later, 30 years later from my service, right? But for someone who's just getting out, it's a very rude awakening. So when you come in contact with someone who is about to get out of the service or has just gotten out of the service, please direct them to an organization like Irreverent Warriors or
Sure.
or
right. And I do. As many people as I can, I direct them your way. Absolutely.
And you do a phenomenal job of that, and I thank you.
And I have to get more involved in that.
And I'm not shaming you.
No, I didn't.
Well, the other thing is,
Hey, listen,
Paul, that
Jim,
Mark
you
and
do a
I,
great job of that.
But Mark
Paul.
and I,
Yes. Hey, wait,
Mark and I were part of BNI together for a number of years, so I know how the organization works.
I'm joking.
I know
Remember
the
talking
types
about
of
humor?
referrals
Yes.
he's looking
About
for.
humor? Hey, I took him to
The
an
other
Eagles
question-
Giants game. That was humor.
Well, I was going to say, Paulie and I went to an Eagles Cowboys game. Isn't that a combat zone? Does that count?
It depends. Was it in Philly?
It was in Philly, yeah.
Only if you wear a Dallas jersey to link.
Yeah, right. But anyway,
But
we'll go ahead and say what you
Sorry,
want to say.
last thing is please encourage them to register and apply for disability status at the VA.
Okay.
That's critical.
Okay.
I waited almost 30 years.
Oh, wow.
To do that, and I missed out on a lot of support.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I would think there would be great support over at the VA. And like what? And then just wrapping it up, like what do you have going forward into 2025 or anything for the rest of this year? And then how they'll tell the randommies out there how they can get in touch with you or where they the website.
Absolutely. Irreverent Warriors just merged with Grunt Style Foundation
cool.
this year.
I did not know that.
Which is huge for us. It's going to allow us to do a lot more to support the veterans, not just in suicide prevention, but in other ways as well. Housing, food insecurity,
Fantastic.
Clothing, etc.
Love it.
So that's a great thing that's going on. The best way to contact us, the website is irreverentwarriors.com. My email address is marc, M-A-R-C, @irreverentwarriors.com. Please reach out. I'll put you in touch with the right people. We have presence in 37 states and around the world. So even if you know a veteran in another area of the country, please put them in touch with me and I'll get them to the right place.
So irreverentwarriors.com and then Mark with a C, irreverentwarriors.org?
.com.
.com.
I would say that out of all the podcasts we've done, this is probably the most important one we've ever done.
I would say so, yeah.
I really do. Because,
well, number one, we're saluting veterans, so thank you. And
but you're
number
you're dealing with mental health, and
we're-
we all know
we're dealing with a real issue here.
You know how mental health is an issue, not just from you, but just from from Irreverent Warriors, just in general. It's a huge issue. So I can't thank you enough for doing this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
You've
you.
been a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
As so, you get a lovely parting gift of your own show hat, and it even has the random fandom on the back there.
love
so
it.
you have an official show hat, and look how beautifully that fits.
That is
That's
man.
outstanding.
That's much nicer than that Dennis Rodman collection, where the Mrs. Roper wore.
I heard it's made in Korea.
No, I think it was made.
Didn't Dennis Rodman go to North Korea?
Oh yeah, he probably did. I was thinking of the hat. I'm not sure
Yeah,
about
with
that.
to see his buddy Rocket Man.
Right.
Look at you getting one over on me.
That's two.
That's two.
It's still,
Well, thank you, Mark. You
Thank
were
you.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Irreverent
Thank you.
Warriors. Thanks,
Mark.
We
Thank you.
appreciate
Yep.
it. Great job. And we're back with a salute to veterans. Wow, what a great conversation with Ted and with Mark.
it was
Fantastic, right? And you can see a lot of, overlapping
It was-
of the two organizations.
I'll tell you, it bordered on. I shouldn't say bordered. It was very emotional.
Yeah, it is emotional.
Really hearing that. We joke a lot here and stuff, but I'll tell you that really puts a lot of
Gives
things in perspective for sure.
It sure does, and the two organizations are just terrific, and they're both really dedicated to helping veterans. So
Yep.
thanks to them and to everyone. So again, let's thank Ted Curtin from the New Jersey Warriors, njwarriors.org, if you want to get in touch with them, and Marc Herzog from the Irreverent Warriors. And you can get a hold of Mark at Mark and with a C at irreverentwarriors.com, or you can go out on the web to irreverentwarriors.com and check them out and all of their events and Silky's events they have coming up, and the Warriors with all of their hockey events that they have coming up. And you got warriors and veterans and a lot going on, with these organizations. And we'd like to thank all our veterans for all that you do and all that you've done to help this great country of ours, the United States of America.
And as we learned today, when you see a veteran, say welcome home.
Welcome home, yeah. That was kind of
Welcome
cool.
home. I never thought about that.
I never thought about
thank
it
you for your
either.
service, but Mark mentioned today that welcome home is...
Yeah, welcome home. Well, welcome home.
Welcome home, thanks.
Welcome home. You're welcome. Welcome to my home. My humble abode.
How much are you good at math?
Sort of.
How much is 5Q and 5Q?
I have no idea. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. It's like a bad knock-knock joke. Knock-knock. So, and again, Mike Marino is going to be on our show in a couple of weeks at TV 36 over in Clark. You want to check out his upcoming schedule at mikemarino.net. That's mikemarino.net for ticket information and show times. And again, for the homeless veterans in the area, Joe Midnack is raising funds to build a home for them in the Westfield area. You want to reach out to Joe at fsvh.org. That's F as in Frank, S as in Sam, VH.org.
And VH is in Van Halen.
As in Van Halen. I think it's veteran homes. Well, but Van Halen works too. We'd like to thank our sponsors, the New Jersey Festival Orchestra. To get tickets, visit njfestivalorchestra.org. That's njfestivalorchestra.org. Tickets are on sale now. njfestivalorchestra.org.
That was tough for you to get out.
That was tough for me to get out. I was trying to say the ticket part at the same time as I was trying to say the NJ Festival thing. So I kind of... Anyway.
Your two personalities were multitasking.
Yeah, a little Sybil going on there.
Yeah. How many will understand that?
Yeah, I was really just trying to, I was just whatever. The two things were running together as I was looking at the sheet. Anyway.
But it's always my job to make fun of you when I get the opportunity.
I make fun of you as well.
Yes, you do.
And I'm very good at it.
Yes, you called me ugly.
I did not call you ugly. I called you late for dinner.
That's right. You called me late for dinner.
So we got Florham Park Dental Excellence with my partner here, Dr. Paul Banks. And you want to visit them at florhamparkdental.com, florhamparkdental.com for more information. And what do you like to say?
We make smiles that you can see for miles.
I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles. And me, Jim Mooney, and my son Seamus, and my niece Bridget, our newest employee, over at Minuteman Press, Clark. We are your branding and printing partners. Visit us at nj213.minuteman.com. That's nj213.minuteman.com. And you see all the swag we've created here. The cool hat we gave the Mark, you got the microphones, you got the set, you got the embroidery that we have on our hats and shirts. We have coasters. We have these giant, ginormous magnets we have here.
Fancy shirts.
Fancy shirts. So just check us out at nj213.minuteman.com. And to our fantastic Random-esque team, producer, Ange Mooney, production and editing, Bridget Hanlon, and executive producer, Seamus Mooney. So please catch us on Spotify. And when you go on Spotify, please hit follow so we know how many randommies are out there and what they're listening to.
There's so many people that have not tapped their randommy potential yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of randommies out there, and I know...
They don't know they're randommies yet.
They just don't know it yet.
They don't know, but they are randommies. It's their DNA.
They are in the dark about being a randommy, but they are out there. And we will capture them if they just hit follow when you go on to Spotify. And for Paul and I, where we like to say, hey, randommies, always stay
Random-esque.
It was a very random meeting you. It was very random meeting you, and now you're a part of our lives, the Random family. Thank you. And again, thank you to all the vets, and this special salute to the veterans for the month of November, but we should salute them all year long. So thank you. And welcome home.
Welcome home, and go Birds.
Go Birds. Thanks. It's been a great...
Have a topic you would like the Random-esque podcast to discuss randomly? Please email us at randomesque@gmail.com. That's RANDUMBESQUE@gmail.com. This has been the Random-esque podcast, produced by Moonrock LLC. And remember, always stay Random-esque.